Who is ready for a story time? I get so excited for story time videos. Oh gosh, this one. So this story time is about our time at Halloween Horror Nights. I was actually physically assaulted by one of the employees at Universal Studios.
Also, I quickly just wanted to let you guys know, if you enjoy story times like this one and you want to see more even crazier story times that aren't allowed on YouTube, or just things that are really crazy, definitely check out our Patreon. All the thumbnails you're seeing right now are Patreon videos. They're exclusive videos just for Patreon, and we would really appreciate if you check that out. It really helps to support our YouTube channel. We also do crazy epic giveaways. We do Disneyland tickets, tons of makeup, and like all kinds of really fun stuff and fun videos over there. And then we also do special requests. We do exclusive Q&As. So if you want to support us even more, please check out the link down below and sign up for Patreon. We'd really appreciate it.
And I was this close to filing a police report on them for what happened. That was like the craziest thing that happened, but then there were some other crazy things that happened. So let me just rewind. Travis and I always go to Halloween Horror Nights. It's like one of our favorite things. We always get the VIP tickets, which are super expensive, but we save throughout the year so that we can do this because it's something that we really enjoy and love doing. So my dad also, if you guys know my dad and my stepmom Lori, love Halloween. Also, they go crazy for decorating. That's probably where I get like my love for Halloween is my dad. And so I really wanted him to come with us to Halloween Horror Nights this year, especially because he's getting older and this is probably going to be the last year that he was going to be able to do this because he's having trouble walking around a lot and stuff. So I wanted to treat them. So I got them tickets. I'm just going to let you guys know it was like $1,500 for the four of us for 4 tickets for the VIP. It's very expensive, but again, I like saved for this because it's something special that we do as a family. So we get there, we're all excited. Everything is going really good at the very beginning.
So we're currently at Halloween Horror Nights. Really crowded though, like really crowded. So you can probably, oh, excuse me, sorry. Oh my God, we're losing our tour guide. So we did the RIP tour, or yeah, RIP tour. It's kind of like VIP, but RIP. So they have like a tour guide that takes you around and you get to go in the front of all the lines. You get like food is included, like valet. It's pretty cool. So see our little stick up right there. We got my dad and Lori, Trav, and my friend Clint and his fiance. So we got a big group of us. And it looks like we're going to a Jabberwocky show right here.
And then all of a sudden, after the second maze that we go through, our tour guide loses us. And this is the thing. So the VIP, if you guys don't know, you basically get like free valet parking. They feed you. So there's like a buffet. Kind of. And dessert. It's like this private area.
1, 2, and 3.
You also are kind of like away from the general population, like in different areas. Like you don't even go on the tram with the general population. You have your own VIP tram that takes you. And then you also have your own tour guide, and they do groups of 12. So it's like small little groups of the VIPs that go with the tour guide, and the tour guide takes them to the front of every line. You go through the maze. You don't have to wait in any lines. It's like really awesome. And there's also like the Jabberwocky show. You get like the best seats. I mean, like they really do a good job for the VIP tickets. Like it's definitely worth the money if you're able to afford them. But if you have a bad tour guide, which I've never had a bad tour guide before, like they do a really good job normally. This year, we literally had the worst tour guide in all of mankind. And let me explain why. First, the tour guide loses us. They're supposed to have these like little sticks that light up because it's very crowded there. So when we are walking in through the park, they have these like orange sticks that they hold up like this so that everybody could see where your tour guide is, so you could follow them throughout the night and you don't get lost. Well, our tour guide decided that he didn't want to hold up his stick. So it was very hard to keep like finding him where he was as we're walking through. And then he ended up losing us and didn't even come looking for us. And so now we're lost. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. We're calling the VIP line to like try to find out where our tour guide is. And we're losing like, you know, a lot of time that when you've paid a lot of money for these tickets to be going through the mazes and, you know, doing these things. And now we're just sitting around waiting to find our tour guide. Like that's the last thing you want to do, you know? That was the first thing that happened that really annoyed me because you don't let that happen, you know? So that sucked. Still was like, you know what? It's probably not going to hold it against him. So then we're going through the mazes and then he's like, okay, so we're going to go on the Harry Potter ride. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like I've never been on the Harry Potter ride. I've never even seen the Harry Potter movies. I know I'm maybe one of the few, but I specifically asked him, does this ride make you motion sickness? Or like, is it possible this ride can make me sick? Because I get very motion sickness very easily. And my dad is 73 and cannot do anything motion sickness. Like he'll have a fucking heart attack. Also, I recently found out, I don't think I told you guys, but my MRI came back and I have a herniated disc, which is why I've been having so much pain in my back. And so there's no way that I can go on a ride that would be bad for my back or cause motion sickness or anything like that. And also my dad, you know, is very old, has high blood pressure, like it gets very motion sickness, cannot do that ride. And he's like, oh no, it's totally fine. It's not motion sickness at all. Like you don't worry, you're totally fine. Now this is the thing, you know how every ride has like the warning signs where it's like, if you have high blood pressure, if you have back or neck problems, like don't go on this ride. Well, as a VIP, you don't see those signs because you skip all of that and you go straight to the front of the line. You don't see the signs. So that's why I kept asking him, like, are you sure? I literally talked to him for no joke, like 5 straight minutes, making sure that like it was okay for me to go on this ride because this was still towards the beginning of the night. And the last thing that I wanted was to be sick for the whole rest of the night. Like that would literally ruin your night, you know, like if you got sick or something on a ride. And we paid too much money for these tickets to have that happen. So I was like very adamant with him and he's like, oh no, it's totally fine. I'm like, is it like Indiana Jones? I was like literally comparing rides to Disneyland to like make sure. And at first I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna go. Like I don't want to chance it. And my dad was like, no, it's okay. He said it's fine. Let's go. You know, it'll be fun. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we get up to the front of the ride and I noticed that this ride has one of those things that comes down over you. Like if you were to go on like roller coaster loops at Magic Mountain to make sure you don't come out. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not feeling like this is a good idea. You know, that gut instinct that you feel? Started feeling nervous. That was my intuition telling me, Shannon, do not get on this ride. Do not let your dad get on this ride. But I somehow was trusting to this fucking tour guide that told me that I was going to be totally fine, even though I had like medical issues and shouldn't have been riding that ride. I get on the ride, it starts going, and immediately I know, nope, this is not going to be good. For one, that is the most motion sickness ride I think I've ever been on in my life. I would never, ever, ever, ever tell anybody that has even the slightest bit of motion sickness, it's okay to ride that ride. This guy, this is like not the job for you, buddy. Like, I can't even tell you how pissed off I was at the tour guide as soon as I got on that ride, because what a fucking liar. This guy's either never been on this ride before, which he said it's one of his favorite rides. It's the most popular ride at the park. Everybody loves this ride. You don't have to worry. Like, this was what he was telling me the whole time. It took everything in me not to throw up, and my back was killing me. For one, this ride goes up and back and round, and there's a 3D screen like right in your face. It was horrible. You can't see on either side of you because you're back in this little pod. It was a fucking nightmare. I wanted to die. I had to keep telling myself, like, Shannon, don't get sick, don't get sick. It's gonna be over soon. Don't worry, it's gonna be over. This is not permanent. Like, that's how horrible. I literally felt like I was in hell the whole time I was riding that ride. That's how horrible I felt. I couldn't wait for that ride to be over. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my God, my poor dad. I cannot imagine how my dad must be feeling right now. He was after us. So we went first and then he was the next one behind us. So I get off the ride and the tour guide's there waiting for us to get off. And he's like, how was it? And I was like, it was fucking horrible. That's what I told. I was so pissed at him. I was like, it's fucking horrible. So I'm already super mad at this tour guide. Then I turn around, I see my dad completely white, covered in his own vomit. And when I say covered, I mean, he had puke everywhere. Honestly, like my heart sunk into my chest because I don't know if you guys know, but like my dad, I'm so protective of him. And like, I just, I was like, I hope my dad doesn't have a heart attack and die on this ride. Like, honestly, that's, I know it sounds dramatic, but like for an old man, that, no, an old man should not be riding that ride, especially when like my dad, he was shaking as he got off the ride. He was so embarrassed. They had to take him straight into like this staff bathroom, and he was just literally puke all over his face because the ride, like, and oh, I forgot to say, you have to have a mask on. So my poor dad is puking in a mask. The mask comes off somehow, has puke all over his face, all over his hat, all down his neck, all over his, I mean, like, it literally was everywhere, all over his pants, his shoes, is shaking coming off the ride, goes into the bathroom, and I turn around and I look at the tour guide and I'm like, how could you tell people that this ride doesn't cause motion sickness? You have to know and tell people from now on to not get on this ride if they have motion sickness. I've never been more sick in my life, and now my poor dad has puke. You just ruined our whole night. Like, we're gonna be feeling horrible the whole rest of the night. And he literally doesn't even say sorry, the tour guide. He's just sitting there looking at me. And I'm like, I need to get clothes for my dad. Like, I need you to call the VIP line and have them find some clothes for my dad. I go into the bathroom. I'm already feeling super pukey as it is coming off the ride. And now I'm smelling my dad's vomit. And so now I'm really feeling like I'm gonna throw up. And I'm like feeling so bad for him. I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. And poor guy is like literally shaking and just drenched in puke. And my amazing saint of a stepmother is like trying to help him get it all off. And my dad, like, he's old. He can't like bend down. He's not very agile. He can't like clean himself up, you know, like he can't reach down to like clean his legs. He's got stuff on his shoes. Like, he needs help putting his shoes on, you know, like, poor guy. So I'm in there with my stepmom, literally cleaning the puke off of my dad. He had to take his whole shirt off. It was completely soaked in puke. And it's like all on his neck. It's like in his eyes. His eyes were all like bloodshot and red because he had gotten puke in it. And he's like, I tried to hold it the best I could, as long as I could, but it couldn't. And then I just tried to throw up a little bit in my mouth and swallow it. And then just more kept coming, and I couldn't hold it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, Dad, don't apologize. Are you kidding? Like, I feel so bad. Like, I felt so bad for him, you guys. And this is the thing about my dad. Like, I remember him telling me all the time. He's like, I rather walk 100 miles in snow than throw up. He hates throwing up. It's like, I don't know what it is for him, but like, he just really doesn't like it. He says it's like the worst thing ever for him. So I knew that like this was horrible, and he was the last one to ride the ride. So all the VIP group is waiting there, and like everybody's just staring at him with puke all over him. And like, he had to like walk. He was so embarrassed, walk in front of everybody into the bathroom, like covered in puke. Everyone had to wait for him. And then finally I was like, they're like, sorry, we can't get any clothes for your dad. I'm like, okay, so now I got to figure out what to do. I guess for the general population, they have clothes back there. Someone sent me a message and was like, yeah, I guess so many people get sick from that ride that they literally have like extra shirts back there for people, but no one offered one to my dad. So I guess the tour guide, like VIP tour guide, didn't know that, or I don't know. He was so horrible. I didn't expect much from him, but they were like, sorry, we can't help you. Now my dad has to wait in the bathroom. And I told the rest of the group, because I didn't want them to wait on my dad, you know, like they also paid a lot of money for their tickets. So I'm like, just go ahead and I'll call, because my friend was also in the group with us. I said, just go ahead, and once we get him cleaned up and find clothes for him, we'll meet up with you guys wherever you are. So the group leaves, and now I am trying to scavenge around the park to find clothes for my dad to buy, you know, at the like theme park or whatever. So I finally find a t-shirt. They don't have pants there. They don't have like shoes or anything like that. So I finally find a t-shirt in his size, because he's an extra large, and I buy that. I go up and get a new shirt for him, but he's just not feeling well. So we go and we get him like a Sprite to help with his stomach. And like, I felt so horrible the whole rest of the night after that. And so did my poor dad. And my dad's like, do I smell like puke? Like, I feel like I smell. I feel embarrassed being around other people. And I'm like, Dad, don't worry. Like, no, you don't smell, even though he reeked. I'm like, you don't smell at all. I don't smell anything. Like, you're fine, you know? Like, I just felt so bad for him. So then I'm like, do you want to just like go home? Like, I know you probably don't feel well. And he's like, no. Like, he was such a trooper. He's like, I'm fine. So like, he ended up being okay and being able to go through like the rest of the mazes. But then we were going on another ride, which was Jurassic Park, which would have been a ride that we would have loved to go on. And that was a ride that my dad and I could stomach, but we ended up not being able to go on that ride just because we were like, we just don't feel good. Like, we don't even want to be on a ride, you know? So we ended up having to like stay back and not being able to ride rides that we wanted to go on because we weren't feeling well. And then if that wasn't enough, I just have to say this. So for the VIP, you don't have to wear masks. And I can prove this with pictures. when you're in like the VIP area, there's no like mask rule. None of us were wearing it. None of us, it was not enforced. Well, for one, we were eating, but like even then, like they're very strict at Universal Studios with like the whole mask thing with the general population. So like when we were going into a maze, for instance, we follow the rules. I just have to say, like, we will wear a mask. If they say like you have to have a mask on here, we put our masks on, even though we don't like wearing masks. We do it because we want to follow the rules. So we had the masks on, and the mazes, after I had gotten sick, I was feeling really nauseous, and having a mask on is like the worst thing when you're feeling sick and nauseous and you feel like you need to get air. And so people were like yelling at my dad, like, put a mask on, and my poor dad like literally just puked everywhere and is not feeling good and needs fucking fresh air, you know? He doesn't want to breathe in a mask and smell his own puke. And we're outside and there's like no one around us at this point, you know? And I just felt like the workers were like on a power trip, like telling everybody to put a mask on. So then we go through a maze and it's super hot in the mazes. And so again, I'm feeling sick. So I put my mask down below my nose so that I could feel like I could breathe, because also it's like was giving me anxiety and stuff, but I still had my mask on. Every 5 seconds from every employee, put your mask up, put your mask up, put your mask up. When you're feeling sick and like just trying to enjoy the rest of your night, that's the last thing you want to hear, right? Especially when the whole time you're in the park, they're saying it's okay to not have your mask on. So I was just getting very confused. I'm like, is it okay to have my mask on or mask off? Like, I don't understand. Some people are saying it's fine. Some people are saying it's not fine. Again, please note that this is just my little family that's going through the maze, no one else. So it was just kind of annoying. Then towards the end of the night, again, when I'm feeling very sick, I have the mask below my nose. And this wasn't even because I couldn't breathe. It was just because my mask kept falling down because it was kind of big on me. I was wearing Travis's mask. So it had fallen down. And this lady, like worker, they're so annoying, by the way. Like the one lady, we're walking in there and they like herd you through like cattle. This has literally been the worst year at Halloween Horror Nights. Like I don't remember it being like this before. They have these like little wands to like guide you through, like if you're going the wrong way or something, but that's not what they use it for. They literally were using it to like hurry up and get you through the maze. Like hurry up, go through, hurry up, go through. It's like, we paid a lot of money to be here. We don't want to be like rushed through a maze. Like, let us enjoy it, you know? It's not like we're just like standing there looking around, not moving, you know? We're just like taking our time, like going through. She literally was going like this to us, like go, go, go. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was actually have a video of it. See if I can find it and put it in here. So I was like filming through some of it and I was like, this, all I see is this chick's freaking wand. I don't even get to see the maze because I just see this chick's wand the whole time, like wanding me through. So that was annoying. Then in this same maze, like I said, my mask came down a little bit and one of the workers that's like in these little corners, literally, I don't know if she said something to me, but she whacked me with her wand. I like looked at her and I was like, what the heck? And then she's like, put your mask up. And so I'm like, okay. Like I was like so shocked. I'm like, okay. So like I put it on and it falls below my nose because it's too big. And I am walking and she sees that like it fell below my nose again. And so she literally is like holding me with her wand, like my waist right here. I actually have a bruise from it. She's holding me like this, like trying to hold me back so that I'm not allowed to keep going through the maze. We're already in the middle of a maze, by the way, so that I can't go through the maze until I put my mask back up. And I was like, lady, I put it up again and it fell down for a third time. And she fucking whacked me with her thing again. And I look back at her this time and I'm like, don't fucking touch me again. That's what I told her. I was so fucking pissed. For one, I wasn't feeling good. Two, I was so sick and tired of so many people telling me to put my mask above my nose. I was just like so fucking over it, especially because you do not have to wear a mask in the VIP. And so it was just annoying to me because the whole mask situation, you guys already know, is a fucking joke. Like such a joke. You can literally, people are taking it down to talk to each other because they can't hear what they're saying and then putting it back up. It makes no sense at all. People are taking it down to eat. It's okay to eat, but then you put it, I mean, like, I don't even want to get into it. Please don't get me into it right now because I just can't. Anyway, totally fucking assaulted by this chick and her power trip of thinking it's okay to whack people with their wands as they're going through a maze. And I'm just so fucking over it, you guys. That's why I was like, you know what, after this, and also the fact that it's okay for rich people, I'm not saying I'm rich, I'm just saying like the people that can afford VIP tickets to not wear a mask, but the general population has to wear a mask is so fucked up, like in my opinion, that like I just don't want to support a company like that. And even though I love Universal Studios Studios, I can't with them anymore. Ugh. And like after that night of like everything that kind of happened, I was like, I'm never fucking coming back here again. I was so pissed off, you guys, especially with my poor dad. I felt so bad. Even like, no joke, for me, the next 2 days I felt sick from that ride. That's how like sensitive I am. And then my poor dad, like I asked Lori, I'm like, is he okay? And she's like, I don't think so, but he's not like saying, you know, that he's not. So anyway, that was our fucking crazy ass story time at Universal Studios. The world has just gotten so fucking crazy lately. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah.